Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, October 9th, just coming on 5 a.m. Been up all night long. Have not had a nick of sleep. Had 2 hours last night. Futures had a nice little ride down, 14 points over on the ES. And China is getting body slammed. I will show you that in a second, but I will get off of this and move on to where we're at because we've got really nothing at all to talk about. Nothing. September 18th, the FOMC meeting. Boom, big spike, big drop, closed at 56.18. Since then, we have not been able to fill that 56.18 gap. We are into our 15th session of this. We have had 2 -1% days during the course of that, but we have not been able to get into that gap. And yesterday, 57, 57, 60 at the highs of the day, not only filling the weekend gap to 57.51, but coming right up there and virtually tagging the October candle being 57, 57, 73. And God forbid the email went out 3 hours before the market opened talking about Tuesday, October 8th, plus 1% day watch. 57, 52, 90, 57, 57, 60. So didn't look like it was possible. They still wound up doing it there at the end of the day. A lot of geniuses come out of the woodworks when things like that happen. You got 57, 40, 57, 35. The risk trade that I decided to bank on because it banked so well. And yeah, took my first L since September 3, and not even an L, just rolled the bitch over onto Friday because still looking at that 57.37 for the week, the weekly candle, which started 2 days ago, Monday. So we're heading into CPI today, and CPI, I got nothing for you, I don't. I got no tricks up my sleeve about, CPI days. If you remember September 11th, we were bullish into the put credit spreads. We had a 153-point range. We were down, okay, just to remind you here, on September 11th, we were down -1%, and we wound up not only going plus 1% on the day, but closing plus 1% on the day. And that was why the bullish put credit spread of the 5,500, 5,505, expecting to have that close well up there. Yeah, well, 900% is 900%. So, I had to take a roll yesterday. A lot of geniuses, but then again, they're crypto guys. So what do you want? So where are we and where are we going? Well, unfortunately, we ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere until the CPI report comes out tomorrow. And that means even if I bring you over here and show you the dollar, which is getting ready to make a little bit of a breakout. Even if I bring you over here the Japanese yen, which is over here getting ready to make a little bit of a breakout. We're going nowhere until we actually go somewhere. And that going somewhere, well, that's what we're always trying to figure out and find out well in advance. So bring it on to the broader, wider view. And I have to type in a couple of ticker symbols. Looking here at, boom, 5-day, 5-day, 5-minute. Let's go on to the 15-day, 5-minute. Notice any changes? No, because we haven't changed. 57.30, 57.33, right there. You can see your imaginary line, just kind of like those fish that swim over to the equator and they don't cross over. One doesn't leave the south, one doesn't leave the north. 57.33. Little bit of life up here, little bit of life up here, little bit of life up here, and yesterday, a little bit of life up here. You got your gap over the weekend or overnight to be filled down there at 56.95 from Monday's close, and here is your unfillable gap down here, 56.75. There's nothing new, nothing new. Although you did get new 10-day lows over here on the DIA yesterday, but again, nothing new, nothing to talk about. Over here on your QQQ had your entry to get into your further dated, which as I sent out the email, I definitely most so did, onto the Decembers. And here we are trolling right above that 487, where if you go and have a look at some of your big names there, you got some pretty nasty chart setups as we're going into CPI. So anyway, here we are on the IWM. IWM going absolutely nowhere, nothing at all. Dead fish, SPY, dead fish. Come over onto your VIX, and VIX expiration is today. It's not the big one, it's a small one, but it is, an expiration. And here we are on the VIX, and we'll go here and look up, and here, on October 9th, there's really nothing out there. There really isn't. Let's show both sides of the coin. There's nothing. There's, 2,000 over here, couple thousand over there on the puts, and even they're so far out of the money. There's nothing going on. Next week, different story. Next week's where you got all that volume. Look at your 300s, your 200s, your 280s, 250s. Look at all your in the money over here on your calls. Look at all your out of the money calls that are over here. But everything's loaded up over here on the puts. Everybody's loading up on the puts over here on the VIX for next week. So guess what, ladies and gentlemen? And for those of you who are non-binary, they ain't going to let those people with those puts get paid. So we're still on this climb up here above 14. We're still living up in the 21 area, but we're not getting any activity out of the price action as of yet over on the SPX or the QQQ. So it is the same story I've been saying for how many days now? So anyway, let me just type this in NVIDIA. NVIDIA, I've got a 5-minute here. I'll put in a 4-hour. I hope this is clean chart. It is clean chart. We broke over 131, and look at what you got there.
And NVIDIA has been the single worst company we've ever dealt with. So NVIDIA, fuck you.
Excessively overbought. So enjoy what you got going on over there with your NVIDIA. You got the same thing over here with AMD, and I'm not going to type in any of the other ticker symbols because I just don't, it ain't worth it. Already got overbought. Now you got a big old sell divergence, and AMD is the cheaper, or actually the same price over there as NVIDIA, because NVIDIA had that stock split. And here is Hong Kong. Hong Kong today, having had intraday, Hong Kong, China, its worst ever session, equal to COVID. They were down 5.5%, 6% today. Got a little bit of a bounce later on as the day went on. Look at it over here on the week to date, and this is where you bottomed out. You bottomed out right over here at 11 o'clock, and that was why I couldn't go to sleep, because they had this nice big rally up here all the way up into 130, and we've been fading it off ever since. So again, guys, unfortunately, there's nothing whatsoever magical I can pull out of a hat and say it's a rabbit. There's nothing there. We're still trolling the same area. CPI is tomorrow. And if you're not going to do spreadsheets, at least by all means, draw those trend lines on your charts.
Been testing resistance at 32 for a while now. False break. Wait, no. RSI's at 30. Okay, build up. 30 to 32. Oh, wait. Holy shit.